A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
In just a moment, Suspense with Ann Southern.
Billy, turn that radio down. How can we play bridge?
Okay, Mom.
I like the Autolite show, but not so loud. Whose deal is it, May? Mine, Mary. My husband Ed always listens, too. When he's home on Thursdays, our house sounds just like his service station. I know what you mean. Tonight's probably spark plug night. You'd think the announcer with his commercials would be enough, but no. It's switched to Autolite resistor spark plug. I know. Batteries and ignition systems. Well, Dora, what are you dreaming about?
Oh, Autolite? You mean the show with Ann Southern? Oh, Mary, tell Billy to turn up the radio again. I wouldn't miss the
Billy, will you turn the radio up? Your Aunt Dora
Yes, ma'am.
Suspense. Autolite and 60,000 dealers and service stations bring you radio's outstanding theater of thrill. Starring tonight, Miss Ann Southern in Anton Leader's production of Beware the Quiet Man, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense. What do you have?
Bourbon and soda with a twist of lemon.
Okay, coming right up. Say, your name, Margie?
Yeah. How'd you know?
You Jelly come in here with a heavy-set guy, black wavy hair, wears a big diamond?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in a while ago. Said that day he'd be late, but for you to be sure and wait for him.
But I can't wait. I gotta get home to my... I gotta get home. How late did you say it'd be?
Oh, about an hour.
Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, give me some nickels.
Here. Here you are.
Thanks. Hello? Mr. Banning, please. Yeah, Mr. Arthur Banning. Arthur? Margie. I'm going to be late for supper. Yeah, I ran into a girl I used to know at Lincoln High. She wants me to have a drink with her. Yeah. And say, will you pick up some hamburger on the way home and start the potatoes? I'll be there as quick as I can. Bye.
Here's your drink.
Well, here's mud in your eye.
There's a young fellow down here in the bar wants to buy you one.
No, thanks.
Well, it looks like a nice guy.
That tall blonde fellow over by the mirror?
None other. And you got a whole hour to kill.
Is he... He isn't drunk, is he?
Nah, he's had a few, but he always carries it good. It might help pass the time.
Say, what's it to you anyway?
$5. Say, I'd sure appreciate it.
He offered you $5 to get me to have a drink with him?
Yeah.
He is kind of good looking. Well, okay. Sure, what the heck, I'll have a drink with him.
Okay, so you're married. Nothing wrong with having a drink together, so what? I figure what your old man don't know won't hurt him.
I said I'd have a drink with you. If you've got any other ideas, I'll buy my own.
Oh, now, don't get me wrong, honey. I spotted you as a good kid the minute you ankled in here. You just like excitement, that's all. And I'm the guy that can dish it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, I'm a private eye. Yeah, no kidding, like you hear about on the radio.
Gee, what a break for me.
You just stick around me, honey, and you'll get plenty of excitement.
Yeah, I'll bet.
You know, you take this new client of mine now. Bet you anything he makes the headlines tomorrow. 10 to 1, he'll murder his wife.
Oh, you're sure.
He hired me to find out if his wife's been stepping out. I felt kind of sorry for the guy. Probably doesn't have the money to take her out himself. He's a bank teller at Second National.
Bank teller? What's his name?
Oh, honey, no, that stuff's confidential. Matter of fact, I'm not supposed to talk about cases at all.
Oh, go on. I won't tell anybody.
Well, no, you don't look like the kind of babe that blabs everything she knows. How about that drink, huh?
Sure.
Hey, Charlie, two over here, huh?
In the works.
You know, he sort of gave me the creeps, this guy. Just sat there eating his lunch, calm as you please, and all the time figuring how to kill his wife.
How'd you know what he was figuring?
Well, for one thing, he didn't want evidence for a divorce. He sort of looked at me funny and said, I just want to know, that's all. If Margie is stepping out, I'll take care of it my own way.
Margie?
Yeah, that's his wife's name, Margie. Hey, what's the matter?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Hey, you don't look so good. Maybe you drank the last one too fast.
No, I'm fine. I'm just naturally pale, that's all. You were saying about this client? You figure he's going to murder his wife?
Oh, sure. It's in a bag. Either that or suicide.
Suicide?
But he's more the type for murder.
Oh, one of those big, brutal guys. Sort of mean-looking, huh?
No. Quiet, mousy. Kind doesn't have much to say. Those are the guys you got to watch.
But why?
Because they never let you know what they're really thinking. Not until it's too late.
They don't?
You know, most guys, when they find their wives stepping, will raise Cain. Maybe they'll even get a divorce, but they don't get sore enough to murder.
Yeah.
But these quiet fellas, you know, they put the little woman on a pedestal. You wouldn't catch them out with other women, not in a million years. And when they discover their one and only's been kicking up her heels, oh, brother, watch out.
Sorry.
And the worst of it is they go on acting like nothing's wrong, you see. And then all of a sudden, whango, they explode.
They explode?
Yeah. You know, like I always say, beware the quiet man. Like this new client of mine, for example, calm. You never met anybody calmer, but
What does he look like?
Oh, well, he's just about average, I guess. Brown hair, getting sort of thin on the top, a little bit stoop-shouldered.
Medium height? Wear glasses?
Yeah, you know him?
No, I don't know any of the boys. Excuse me.
Hey, where you going?
I gotta make a phone call just to remember something. Don't go away, I'll be right back. Ralph? Margie. I can't see you this afternoon. No, I'm not sure about you being late. But whatever you do, don't come into Charlie's place. Yeah, that's where I am now. You bet there's something wrong. There's plenty wrong. Either this guy I'm talking to is crazy, or else Arthur's planning to murder me.
For Suspense, Autolite is bringing you Miss Ann Southern in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Well, Dora, we're down 200 on that hand.
Oh, are we?
It's easy to see there's no playing bridge with you girls with Suspense on. So let's stop playing and switch to Autolite spark plugs or whatever for the rest of the half hour, huh?
Oh, Mary, I could kiss you. You're such an understanding sister-in-law, and I don't want to miss a single word. What about you, May?
Dora, did you know that my husband knows Frank Martin, the Autolite salesman?
He does? Well, then let's listen to Mr. Martin.
Right now, you can get Autolite resistor spark plugs almost anywhere in the United States. They're sensational. Why, no other spark plug will give and maintain such performance. Autolite worked with leading car and truck manufacturers, and they ignition engineered a 10,000 ohm resistor right into the Autolite spark plug that permits a wider spark gap setting and maintains it far longer than another spark plug. Actually, when you replace your narrow gap spark plugs with a set of wide gap Autolite resistor spark plugs, you can tell the difference in your car.
Oh, dear. And to think that I'll hear every word of that again from Ed when I get home.
Now, here's the simple lowdown. As a result of the wide gap in the resistor spark plugs, your engine idles smoother, you have better luck with lean gas mixtures, and save gas. And within established limits, you reduce spark plug interference with radio and television reception. Yes, and today you can get the resistor spark plug from almost any of Autolite's 60,000 dealers. That's the biggest spark plug news in years.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Miss Ann Southern as Margie in Beware the Quiet Man, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
I stood there on the phone just a minute after I hung up. I wasn't scared exactly, but I had to let those words sink in. Either this guy I'm talking to is crazy, or else Arthur's planning to murder me. I went back to the bar. I had to find out.
Oh, beautiful. I thought you got lost. Sit down.
Thanks. Now, about this fella, the one who's going to murder his boss.
Oh, let's get in the shop, Doc. I want to hear about you. I don't even know your name.
Did he say what made him think she was stepping out?
She's supposed to belong to some bridge club the bank teller's wife got up. But friends of his saw her downtown a couple of times on her bridge days.
Is that all?
You know, honey, you're pretty smart. You make like you're really interested in a guy's work.
Oh, but I am.
You know, I had a little doll once I thought plenty of. Would have married her, maybe, but only every time I started talking about a case, she shut me up.
Never mind about your little dolls. What about this guy?
Hey, you're jealous. Well, what do you know?
I'm not jealous. I only want to know.
It's okay, honey. It's okay. Sure, a cute little doll like you doesn't want to hear a guy spouting off about another dame. Yeah, maybe I had a few too many.
I just want to hear about this bank teller. Have you met his wife, maybe?
No, but he showed me a picture of her.
Oh, then you know what she looks like. Oh.
Hey, what's the funny?
Never mind, the joke's on me.
Hey, maybe you better not have many more to drink. You're acting kind of screwy.
Oh, I feel wonderful. Well, here's to you. A long life.
Yeah.
A long, long life.
Yeah. Down the hatch. Yeah. Poor little Margie. You know, you showed me a snapshot of her in her bathing suit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy, was she stacked. As a matter of fact, about your height and build, you're blonde like you, too.
Was she as pretty as I am?
I couldn't see her face. It's kind of blurred.
Oh.
He's bringing me a better picture of her tomorrow.
Oh, I think I'd like another drink.
You know, honey, you better start taking vitamins or something. You're pale as a sheet.
I said I wanted another drink.
Oh, sure. Hey, Charlie, two more the same, huh? Yeah, poor little Margie. You know, that's one thing I can never figure out. The cute little dolls with flirtatious eyes always pick some homely, quiet gink when it comes to settling down. And the handsome he-man who has to beat off the dames with a club, what does he do? He marries a drab little pigeon. Yeah, that's why we get so many axe murders, I guess.
Axe murders?
Only in this case, he'll use a gun.
But he doesn't have a... I mean, most bank clerks don't own guns.
Oh, well, this one does. Now.
Give me a light, will you?
Yeah, sure. There you are. Hey, maybe if you lay off the booze, honey, and take a tonic or something, you'll feel better. Look at your hands. They're trembling.
How do you know he has a gun?
Oh, I get it. Why'd you tell me?
Tell you what?
You got a squeamish stomach. All this talk about guns and shooting. No, honey, I'm sorry. I won't say one more word about it, I promise.
I'm not squeamish and I don't need vitamins. I want to know how you know this bank teller guy has a gun.
All right, so I'm going to a pawn shop and buy one. You know, honey, I could really go for you. It's a funny thing, we never even introduced ourselves. That's something we got to do. My name's Cluson. Lem Cluson. What's yours?
You mean that man bought a gun and now he's home waiting to murder his wife in cold blood?
Oh, no. He won't do anything until he gets my report.
Oh.
You see, tomorrow I check with her friends to see if she's been going to bridge club like she's supposed to.
Yeah.
And I meet my client for lunch and get a picture of Margie. And I take it around to the downtown bars to find out if she's been seen with anybody. And then I give my client the report when he gets off work.
Yeah. And then?
And if his suspicions are right, and they usually are, it's all over but the shooting.
The shooting?
Yeah. Bang, bang, honey. That's all. Bang, bang. Say, what'd you say your name was?
I've got to get home.
Hello, dear.
Hello, Arthur.
Oh, I was beginning to worry about you.
Well, I really couldn't help being late for dinner. I wanted to leave, but May Bell, that's her name, you know, the girl I used to go to school with, she kept talking, yakka, and I just Couldn't walk out on her in the middle of a sentence.
That's all right. I didn't mind. Say, the potatoes are all ready like you told me. Shall I,
No, I'll hurry dinner. You just sit down and read the paper.
Huh? Well, thank you, dear. You all right? You look a little flushed.
Oh, I'm fine. I was just rushing, that's all. It'll be ready in a minute. Did you have a hard day, darling?
Oh, usual. People are taking out more money these days than they're putting in.
Yeah, prices are awful, aren't they? I mean, nothing happened today?
Oh, a funny thing. Man came rushing in this morning, first thing the doors were opened. Wanted to withdraw all the money from their joint account before his wife beat him to it. Seemed she was leaving him for another man.
Oh, how awful.
Oh, yeah. While he was there, she appeared. You should have heard her carry on. She was a real shrew.
Well, what happened?
Oh, nothing. He didn't say a word. He was a gentleman. But I'll bet if he'd had a gun, he'd have killed her. Oh, well. Seems things like that happen all the time. Newspapers full of it.
Are you mad at me, Arthur? Are you mad at me?
Am I mad at you? Why, no. Should I be?
Arthur, darling, I've got something to confess.
Well, fire away.
I didn't go to bridge club last week.
No? I thought you'd die before you gave up bridge.
Oh.
Really, honey, you look awfully seedy.
No, I'm fine. I feel fine. I had sort of a quarrel with Lorraine. I didn't want to tell you because you're always talking about how women can't get along with each other. Instead of going to bridge club, I went shopping. Instead.
Fine. Only I hope you didn't go over the budget.
Oh, no.
That's good. I always said bridge was a waste of time.
Then you're not angry about anything?
Why, no. Why should I be?
Oh, Arthur.
What's the matter now?
I don't deserve a swell husband like you.
Oh, I'm not so hot.
Oh, you always do the dinner dishes and bring me my breakfast in bed on Sunday mornings. The only morning you have to sleep. Arthur, I'd feel terrible if anything ever happened to us.
Well, what's going to happen?
Suppose someday you got real mad and exploded.
Exploded?
Yeah. What if you got a gun and shot me dead?
Oh, for heaven's sakes, Margie. Where'd you get those crazy ideas?
You mean no matter how mad you got, no matter what I did to make you mad, you wouldn't shoot me dead?
Margie, you know I'd rather die than hurt one hair on your head.
Oh, Arthur, not suicide.
Say, how many drinks did you and Maybelle have?
Arthur, I want you to know I'm going to change. I'm going to be a better wife from now on. I'll stay home all the time and darn your socks.
You? Darning socks.
You just wait and see. I'll get up every morning and make your breakfast.
Oh, Margie, you know you won't do any of those things.
I will, too.
Nonsense. Women like you never change.
I will, too. I'll change right away. Tomorrow.
Besides, I don't want you to. Oh, come here, baby. I want you to stay just exactly the way you are right now.
Just exactly, Arthur?
I love you very much. Just the way you are.
Oh, Arthur.
Hey, that reminds me, I made an appointment for you tomorrow at 10. You're having your picture taken.
A picture?
I showed a fellow that old snapshot of you today. The one we took at the beach. It was so dog-eared he couldn't see what you looked like, and I realized we didn't have a single decent picture of you at all. So
But why have it taken tomorrow?
Well, the studio next to the bank is having a special advertising the new 60-minute service.
60 minutes service?
Yeah. That way I can pick up the finished picture before I go to lunch.
I don't want my picture taken.
Well, now you're being silly.
I won't do it.
Well, honey, what's the matter?
Don't touch me. I won't have my picture taken. I won't. Good night.
Sort of gave me the creeps, this guy. Sat there eating his lunch, calm as you please, all the time figuring how to kill his wife. Quiet, mousy. That's the kind you gotta watch. Never let you know what they're really thinking. All of a sudden, wango, they explode. Bang, bang, right? That's all. Bang, bang.
Oh, no. There must be some mistake. Arthur wouldn't hurt me. He wouldn't. I won't think about it. I'll take a sleeping powder and go to bed. The gun. He did buy a gun. It's all true. Every word of it's true. Hello? Ralph. I told you never to call me here. No, it isn't all right. Arthur brought a gun home last night. Yes, a gun. Claimed he was keeping it for a friend. That's all he say. Yeah, I think so. Just a minute. I'll look. Ralph, the gun's gone. He must have taken it to work. Oh, don't you see? As soon as he finds out for sure, he'll kill... No. I never want to hear from you again. I gotta think. Oh, now the doorbell. Oh, Lorraine. Well, who just that, darling? Frankenstein? Aren't you going to invite me in? Well, I was just going out. Don't be silly. You're not dressed. I'm in a hurry, Lorraine. Well, so am I. I'm late at the beauty shop now. But I was driving past anyway, so I thought I'd drop in and give you the latest on the girls at the Bridge Club. Well, some other day. Honestly, Margie, this is choice. You know what I heard about Mrs. Dentler? You know, she's the wife of Ben Dentler, the new teller at the bank. The one from Chicago. Lorraine, if you don't mind. Oh, that's right. You haven't met her. Of course, you haven't been around lately. Well, she's kind of a pretty little thing in a plucked eyebrow sort of way. But you should hear what her husband told my husband. Lorraine, of course, I promised Ed I wouldn't breathe a word. Crying out loud, Lorraine. What brought that on? I haven't time to stand and gossip. What's wrong with you today, anyway? You're as nervous as a cat. I'm all right, perfectly all right. But here it is, 10:30. 10:30? Good heavens, I'm a half hour late. Well, goodbye. I've got to run. Oh, darling. Be sure and read the Gazette tomorrow. They're running a story about our bridge benefit. Okay, goodbye. Pictures and everything. They didn't have time taking your picture, but I gave them when we took the Valentine party. The one I was in? They're publishing it? Why, sure. I don't want my picture in the paper. But yours was the only flattering one in the group. The reporter picked you out right away. He seemed quite smitten. He? Oh, yes. He asked all about you. Of course, I told him that you didn't come to meetings very often. The Gazette doesn't use men reporters for society. Well, they do now, dear. He didn't sound much like a reporter, though. He kept calling me honey. Tall, blonde, fast talker? Well, yes. And you gave him my picture? Well, of course. What was his name? Oh, well, let's see. Yeah. Funny name. I think it was Clusen. Lem Clusen. But, Charlie, it's a matter of life and death. I've got to get all of Lem before noon.
Well, like I said, he ain't been in.
You sure he never told you where he was?
No, he's gumshoeing for some private detective office.
Oh, give me some nickels. Lots of nickels. I got some telephoning to do. Like me detective agency. You have a man named Clusen working for you? Lem Clusen? No? Thanks. Brandon agency? I want Mr. Clusen, Lem Clusen. Oh. Yeah, I guess I have the wrong number. Hawkshaw detectives. I'm looking for a man named Lem Clusen. No, I don't want to hire you to find him. But you're the last one in the book. He's got... Okay, sorry.
No luck?
No.
I just remembered. Lem said the guy he works for just opened up in town. Probably ain't no phone book yet.
Read all about it.
Go on, Jig, get out of here.
Bank teller suicide. Read all
That fresh kid, just because I won't let him in here peddling his papers, he yells in the door.
Did he say thanks to
He
yourself?
yells in here every darn day. Hey, wait. Hey, you didn't finish your drink,
Hey,
huh?
Music. Hey, boy. Hey, newspaper. Boy. Come here, boy.
Read all about it. Bank
Hey, you boy.
Paper lady?
Did you say suicide?
Right in the Second National Bank. You want a paper?
Yeah. Here.
Guy's wife steps out with another joke. So the poor dope says, goodbye, Margie, and pulls the trigger. Here you are, lady. Bank suicide. Read all about it.
Well, if it isn't Margie.
Get away from me, Lem Clusen.
Heard you were looking for me. Well, here I am. Boy, have I got a lot to tell you.
Let me alone. I want to read.
Oh, that write-up's no good. Here, give it to me. Yeah, that's better. Now, come on into Charlie's, and I'll give you the inside.
Give me back my paper, you murderer.
Murderer? Hey, wait a minute. Oh, I get it. You figure he bumped himself off on account of my report. That's a screwy part. He didn't even wait for the report. I got it right here in my pocket.
Take your hand off my
Oh,
arm.
look, honey. Now, come on. You're coming into Charlie's if I have to drag you.
Why don't you leave me alone?
I figured you'd be sore. Like spouting off the way I did in Charlie's yesterday. But how did I know who you were? Now, here we are. Hey, Charlie, 2 bourbon highs, double.
I don't want a drink.
Should have seen my face this morning when that screwy friend of yours gave me the picture of your bridge
Oh,
club.
never mind.
And there you were, as real as life and just as cute. I says to myself, why, you dumb ox, you got that little doll worried sick. And then when I read in the paper about my client giving your husband the gun to keep for fear he'll use it on himself, I think, holy cow.
What did you say?
And then I think, I bet she figures I planned the whole thing just to scare her.
What do you mean?
Oh, now don't try to kid me, Margie. You know you figured that client of mine was your husband. That he was going to bump you off?
You mean he wasn't?
No, your name's Banning, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, my client's name was Dentler, Benjamin Dentler. Funny thing, his wife being named Margie, too. Yeah, I never thought he'd do it anyway.
Oh, I think I'd like that drink after all.
Well, here's that, honey.
So that's the gossip Lorraine was trying to tell me. Dentler, the teller from Chicago.
You know, I've been thinking a lot about you.
And Arthur really was keeping the gun for a friend of his.
Hey, I'll tell you what, honey. I know a quiet little spot across town where we can eat, dance, anything we want.
You might have told me about Dentler.
It's a cute little place, baby. They got a knocked-out band, and what a push.
I wonder why Arthur wouldn't talk to me about it.
Well, what do you say?
Say? To what?
Well, you and me, honey. A date.
Oh. You're asking me to step out with you?
Well, why not?
How about my husband?
Oh, that mousy little guy. We got nothing to worry about from him.
But I thought you always said, beware the quiet man. You never know what they're really thinking.
But this is...
No, but. If you'll pardon me, Mr. Lemclusen, I'm going home and start his supper.
Thank you, Ann Southern, for a splendid performance. Miss Southern will be back in just a moment.
Dora, I apologize. That show was better than a 6-note drum had.
Why, Mary, first thing you know, you'll be in Ed's class, quacking about autolite resistor spark plugs like Donald Duck. Deal me a great big hand, Mary, and watch me get back that 200 we went down. You know, I must get me a set of those spark plugs.
Why not? Ask Ed tomorrow to put a set of those autolite resistor spark plugs in your car.
Oh, well then, May, will you tell Ed I'll be over tomorrow?
I certainly will.
My old car's going to get autolite resistor spark plugs, too.
Yes, switching to Autolite is safe, sane, sound, sober judgment, and a sure way to spark plug satisfaction. That's why everybody's switching to Autolite. Autolite means resistor spark plug, ignition-engineered spark plug. Autolite means batteries, stay full batteries. Autolite means ignition system, the lifeline of your car.
And now, here again is Miss Ann Southern.
I've enjoyed this appearance on Suspense very much. And as a regular Suspense listener, I'm looking forward to next week when Martha Scott stars in Crisis, a powerful study in...
Suspense.
Ann Southern appears by courtesy of Metro Goldwyn Mayer Studios, producers of Julia Misbehaves, starring Walter Pidgeon and Greer Garson. Tonight's Suspense play was written by Toby Hall, with music composed by Lucien Morawick and conducted by Lud Gluskin. The entire production was under the direction of Anton M. Leader. Next Thursday, same time, you will hear Martha Scott in Crisis.
This is the Autolite Suspense Show, calling the people of the USA. Here's your potty, sir.
Thank you. This is CARE Incorporated. It's been 9 years now, 9 years since Europe's people have been able to live decently, buy clothes to wear, get enough to eat. That's a long time. It's far too long. Our government is doing something about it. Its long-range program will help restore economic prosperity. But there won't be any immediate direct help for the people who are hungry today. They can look only to us, to you and me. We can send help through CARE. The 40,000 calories of food, good food, in a CARE package goes a long way. Because CARE is non-profit, government-approved, it will deliver your package in Europe for just $10. $10 sent to CARE will supplement rations of a family of 4 Europeans for a month. Won't you help? Remember the name and address, CARE, C-A-R-E, New York.
Good night. Switch to Autolite.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Lights out, everybody. Her name was Jean. You will hear not only the voice in her throat as she speaks, but also the voice in her mind as she thinks.
This way, girls, this way. We're going to visit the Louvre now. A treasure house of culture, the very pearl of your visit to Paris. Now come this way, girls, this way.
This way, girl, this way. Prune-faced old maid. Makes me sick. Who cares about the Louvre and scummy pictures and junk like that? Fun. I want fun.
Now, Jean Taylor, why do you always lag behind? You know that makes my task of shepherding you girls infinitely more difficult.
Do I have to be shepherded? Do I look like a sheep?
Now, Jean, my dear, please don't take that attitude again. Your father...
My father. My father. What does my father understand about me?
Now, Jean...
What does anybody understand about a girl like me?
My dear child, for 20 years I've conducted young ladies...
For 20 years you've been a pain in the neck.
Jean Taylor.
A pain in the neck, that's what you are. Here we have the Mona Lisa. She's got a pan like a hunk of cheese. Culture, girls. Culture. Culture. You make me sick.
Jean Taylor, how could...
Oh, don't pop up like that. You'll blow something.
Cable. A cable to your father.
Go ahead, cable and send for him. Who cares? What good's Paris if I don't get any fun out of it? You dried up prune.
I've never been talked to like this in all my life.
Well, that's what you are, a prune. A little dried up prune.
The other girls...
The other girls make me as sick as you make me sick. Fun. Fun's what I want. And neither you nor my father nor anybody else is going to stop me from having it.
Now I understand how you broke your mother's heart.
Oh, cut it out. That tune's made me sing in the choir long enough. I'm sick of it. Money's for fun, and life's for fun. I'm young. My father's got plenty of what it takes. So starting right now, the devil with sculptures and paintings and all your culture. This is Paris. Paris. And I'm going to have fun. 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 And I'm starting right now.
Jean, come back here. Jean, come back here.
Chasing after me. Never catch up with me. Dried old prune. Fun. Fun. Paris full of fun. Free now. Yeah, I'm free now. Until she cables father. Get all the fun I can while I'm free. Nobody knows me here. Get away with anything. Anything. Old prune face. Lost in the crowd. Oh, this is swell being alone. Man looking at me. Ooh, I can only talk French. Fun. I gotta have fun. Step over to the window. Stand there looking in. Someone might talk to me. Someone might.
I beg your pardon. Do forgive me for startling you.
I'm not startled.
Aren't you Jean Taylor from New York?
Oh, yes, I am.
This is a coincidence. Sam Edwards, the name.
I know you?
Not exactly. I know your father.
Oh.
He often spoke to me of you. His favorite daughter, aren't you?
Am I?
I get it. Sort of holds you down, doesn't he?
You mean he tries to?
Well, I can see he isn't very successful now, is he?
Oh, I do all right.
Alone?
Certainly.
Going someplace in particular?
Why?
Why not go places with me?
Been to my father's.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
I wish you would say something. For instance, that you'd like to have me show you Paris. The real Paris.
Real Paris?
Of course. The Paris the tourists never get to see. The Paris you read about. A living, lusty Paris. You go with me?
Oh, mister, I'd love it.
Excellent, excellent. Shall we go?
You really mean the real Paris?
Pure and unadulterated. And not so pure.
Mister, you're the answer to a maiden's prayer.
Yeah. And not much further.
Kind of a funny street, isn't it?
The real Paris.
I hope.
And here we are. Told you it wasn't much of a walk.
You mean this house?
That's right. The old Paris.
It's old enough. Sure looks like a dive.
If your father heard of this, oh.
He won't. He won't.
I should hope not.
I thought you said this was a club.
Oh, yes, indeed. All have our own key. Here you are, my dear. Fun a la carte.
I'll take it a la mode. A la anything. Mr. Edwards, where are you?
Just closing the door. All right, this way, my dear.
Say, how about some lights? How about it?
In here, plenty of lights.
I thought you said there'd be a swing band. I don't hear anything.
Oh, not so impatient, all in good time. Step in here.
It better be good.
It will be.
Say, there's nothing in here. What? Mr. Edwards, locking the door. Say, what's the idea?
It seems like a good idea.
I said, what's the idea?
And I said it seems like a good idea.
You lied to me.
I'm an opportunist.
And show me the etchings.
Got plenty of insides, huh, kid?
I'm not a kid. And if you think you can get away with anything, you're crazier than you look.
Am I?
You said you were a friend of my father's.
I am. I am indeed a friend of his money.
What?
Money, money. You little sap. You don't think I'm interested in you?
Don't you talk to me like that.
Still wet behind the ears.
You let me out of here.
Sit down, sit down.
Let me out.
Sit down. That's the idea. After all, you're not talking to your dear papa now. I'm a fellow who likes his own way even more than you do.
This'll cost you plenty, mister.
You mean it'll cost papa plenty? $150,000 plus interest.
Let me out of here.
$150,000 plus interest. Every dime he took from me, I'll get back.
I don't know what you're talking about. Open that door and let me out of here.
You think it was accidental, my meeting you? On the contrary, I planned every minute of it. I knew exactly what you've been doing ever since you stepped foot in Paris. Why shouldn't I know? I've been waiting for this. He took my money, that father of yours, and now he'll give it back.
They know where I am. They'll find me.
Carwinkle doesn't know where you are. You saw to that.
You know?
I just told you I made it my business to know. Yeah, he'll give me back my $150,000, that father of yours.
You can't keep me here.
On the contrary, I can do nothing else. I waited 2 years for a chance like this. Yeah, 2 years. Because I knew sooner or later you'd be alone. You. The only way I could get him to give me back my money. Well, now I've got you. The whole night's been spoiled yet.
Not afraid. Why should I be? He's old. I'm smarter than he is. I'm not afraid of him. What's he talking about, my father? $150,000. Father stole it from him. Maybe he did. What do I care? He can't keep me here. I gotta get out. I'm smarter than he is. Candlestick on table. Gotta get him to turn his back. That's it. Turn his back. Grab candlestick. Mr. Edwards, look. Behind you.
What?
Nothing at all, except this.
What? Candlestick. What'd you get?
You open that door.
Put down that candlestick.
Don't come near me.
Why, you little good for nothing. Give me that candlestick. What are you trying?
What did I do? Hit him so hard. Candlestick heavy in my hand. Drop it. He's lying there so still. Maybe something dark.
crawling along his head out on the floor. Blood! Blood!
Killed him! Killed him!
Gotta get out of here. Which key is it? Which key? I can't find the right one. Which is it? I gotta get out of here. Blood pouring out of him. I'll go crazy. My head. I'm all mixed up. This is the door we came in. It is. But why won't the keys? I gotta get out of here. I killed a man. I gotta get out. Wind. Where? In the shadows. Another door. Open. I will get out. I will. Steps going down. So dark. Kill the man. Get away. Back to hotel. No one will know. Ever. Dark. I don't know. Water. Basement floor covered with water. Can't get out. Have to go up there. Find another way out. Go up there again. Must be another way out up there. The door. Shut. Wind blew it shut. Oh, I can't open it. Can't. I gotta get out. I got to. Go down again. See if water's deep. Wade through water if it isn't deep. Only up to my ankles. I will get out. I will. Must be a basement door. So dark. Killed him. If they catch me. They won't catch me. Never. Nobody knows. That sound. Running water. Over this way. I wonder why. Get out of here. No one will know. Can't know. No one saw me come in. Sound of water so loud. I wonder what... Water. Drowning. Falling. My head. Yes. Remember. I remember. Stepped out. Water over my head. Filthy water. Pulling me under. I hear it. Yet no water here. So dark. Where am I? Where? Gotta get out of here. Gotta get out. Stand up. Oh. Oh. Bump my head. Don't move about it. Crawl. Crawl out of here. Killed a man. Gotta get out of here. Smashed his head in.
Gotta get out of here!
But not that way, mademoiselle. Another foot in that direction, and you would have fallen many feet into the water.
Where are you?
Beside you. I saved your life, mademoiselle.
What?
You floated by, drowning. I saved you.
You saved me?
Oui, I did. In the dark, I saw you.
Dark. Water. Where am I? Where am I?
You do not know?
Where am I? Wet stone. Smell. Sound of water. You've got to tell me where I am.
Oui. I tell you, mademoiselle. You are in one of the great sewers of Paris. This way, ma chérie. This way.
What's the matter with you? Do you have to walk so fast?
But I walk slowly, mademoiselle.
So dark. Haven't you even got one match?
I see quite well, mademoiselle. if you will follow me.
And then walk slower. You're just a shadowy something. Walk slower, I tell you.
I am a busy man, mademoiselle.
You fool. Don't you understand? The quicker you get me out of here, the more I'll pay you. I'll give you more than you make in a year.
The sewers run beneath the streets like fingers of outstretched hands. Some of these tunnels are so old that all the world has forgotten them.
There's no water here.
Oui. That is true. Abandon this one.
How much further?
A step, merely a step.
You said that half an hour ago.
Turn here. Turn here, Up the steps. Turn, and here we are.
What are you talking about? It's still dark. We're still underground.
We are here.
What are you talking about?
My workroom.
Workroom? Who cares about your workroom? Out of here. You said you'd get me out of here.
No, mademoiselle. I take you away from the water. Here.
But I want to get out. Out where there's decent air. Out where there's light. Do you hear me? You gotta get me out of here.
Oh, no.
No.
Whoever meets old Louis down here stays here.
You're crazy.
No.
You know what money is, don't you?
Oui, mademoiselle.
Then get it through that head of yours. I'll make you a rich man if you get me out of here. Rich. Rich. Just get me out of here.
You are a noisy one.
Crazy. You are.
No.
You are. What do you stay down here for if you aren't?
I work.
Work? What sort of work have you here?
I make things. You will see.
See? How can I see in this dark?
Your eyes will accustom themselves in a few years.
Get me out of here!
Come.
What?
Come, mademoiselle. Come.
Wait for me. Wait for me.
I will show you my work.
Wait for me. If you'll get me out of here, I tell you, you'll never regret it. Where are you? I've lost you. Where are you?
To your right, ma chérie. Turn to your right.
My right? Oh, where are you, old man?
Here, I'm here.
But there's no light here. You didn't get me out. You didn't.
My work. It is here.
Who cares about your work? Get me out of here where there's light.
Light? Oui. I will make light.
I'm not afraid. I've never been afraid of the dark. Just want to see where I'm going, that's all. Hurry. Hurry up with the light.
Oui. I bring you light.
Miserable little kerosene lamp. Haven't you got anything stronger than that?
My work. Oui. Now you will see my work. This way, mademoiselle. This way.
You crazy old fool. Who cares about anything but getting out of here? Will you get it through your head? Money. I'll give you plenty of it. Just show me the way out of this place. Do you want me to go as crazy as you are?
Here, ma chérie. This is the place. My wonderful workshop. So quiet. Always quiet. No one to disturb old Louis. No, indeed.
Give me that lantern. I'll get out of here myself.
No. That is impossible. My work. You see it? See it?
What's that?
Take it, mademoiselle. Take it in your hands. I made it. With my own hands, I made it.
It's a necklace.
Oui. A necklace, eh? Exquisite work. You see for yourself it is exquisite.
Okay, so it's exquisite. Now, will you get me out of here?
I made it myself. All by myself. No one helped me by myself.
You crazy old fool. Give me that lantern.
No. You must see how I make my beautiful necklaces. Here. Over here, mademoiselle. Look.
Listen, you give me that lantern or I'll...
Oui. From these I make it.
Bones.
Oui. Beautiful bones. They come floating down the water to me.
Bones of... What?
The foolish ones who killed themselves in the water. The sewer brings them to me. All of them.
Oh!
The miserable, unhappy flesh. I take it off them. Then at last, they are bones. Hard, white, useful bones for my work. See, that one in the corner.
Let go of my arm.
No. You must come to look, ma chérie. You must.
Let go of my arm.
Oh, mademoiselle, come. You see, the skull, I have it almost clean. You stand there. I will show you how I do it, eh? My saw. So, I cut the good strong white piece off the top and clean the brains away, eh? Watch me.
No. No.
Get away. Gotta get away. Chasing me. Old man. Can't run as fast as I can. Get away. Just get away, that's all. Sawing that skull. Dead men. I killed a man.
Mademoiselle!
They're after me. Get away. We'll get away. Nightmare. Gotta get out. So dark. I gotta get the light. I'll go crazy if I don't get the light. Water again. I'll be careful. Maybe if I yelled, someone would hear me. Workmen. Someone in the sewer. If I yelled. Help! Help me! Help me! Help me! Is there someone down there to help me? Echo. Only Echo talking back to me. Oh, if only someone was here to get me out of here. Someone.
I am here, mademoiselle. Why did you want to run away from me? It was quite useless.
Let go of me. Let go.
It is no use to struggle, my chérie.
Let go of me, you crazy fool. Let go of me. Here, take your hands off me. Let go of me.
No. You come with me, mademoiselle. With me if I have to drag you along. I need your help. I have wanted so very long.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
No. You see, you cannot reach me, mademoiselle. I twist your arm so.
My heart.
Yeah. Now you will do as I say. You will come quietly, eh? Oui, ma chérie. You will help me too. Always help me. There is so much work to do. So many bones to be cut. You are doing very well, mademoiselle. Oui, very well indeed. Stop! Stop! Fool! That is not the way to cut. Crosswise, crosswise!
Crosswise?
If you cut the other way, the bones will split. Splinters are not good for my work. Well, now you will try it again, eh, ma chérie? Oh, that is right, eh? That one, ma chérie, has long bones, did he not, eh? I remember the day I fished him under the water. Still alive he was. But I fixed that. I fixed it. He must have been like you. Rich, willful, no good for anything or anybody in life. But in death, now he will be useful, eh? Keep sawing! Keep sawing! There is so much work to do, ma chérie. What was I saying? About the bones, oui. Look about, ma chérie. Chains and chains of pretty necklaces. I made them all myself. All myself. Everyone. Like lacy strings they are, eh? Such beauty. Oui. Stop! Stop! Stop, I tell you! You hear it? You hear it? I ask you, you did not hear it? Come quickly. We have work to do. Come.
Oh, no.
Must I drag you after me always, huh? Come. Another one. Just in time to... Quickly. Come quickly.
Hurting me.
Then come quickly. Yeah. Your eyes can see in the dark now as well as mine, eh? I train you. Louis train you well, huh? Such a short time when you are doing so very well, huh? You saw the bones into pieces almost as well as I do myself, huh? My Sherry, it is good to have a woman around. We'll make this place a fairyland of necklace, huh? So many of them, they will be like clouds above us, huh? Quickly, move more quickly.
Don't hurt me.
I must say you have changed quite nicely. So docile. Quiet tears now, where before you were so noisy. Before you were another rich one, good for nothing but for trouble. Huh? Now you do my work for me. That is the way it should be, my Sherry. Here we are. The water runs quite slowly here, doesn't it? Huh? The largest sewer of them all. To bring me more white ones for my work. See! There it comes, another one. Another one who tried to take his life, huh? I always know when one is coming. Mon Dieu, he's a big one, huh? Strong bones he'll have. Cut him. Help me lift him up. Help me lift me, he's a big one.
He's still alive.
He's alive, I see. Hold his head on the water. Hold it under. Hold it under, I tell you. Hold his hair. Hold him under. Woman! Why did you lump in the water? Woman, come back! The water is taking you away from me. Woman! Come back!
And how is the fishing, my friend?
How could I fish, Levitis?
In my time, the Seine was full of fish.
In your time? Look, see where it's playing in. Where is that for a fish to live?
Monsieur.
Look, what?
In the water.
All right, it's a purpose. She's a woman.
The current will take her right by us.
Hold on to my arm. I'll get you. Hold on. Oh, not too far.
You will fall in.
A little more. A little more. I got you. Pull me back. Pull me back now. Help me lift her up for you.
So, another one, I suppose, who found life too bitter.
Oui. Poor old women must have had a long, miserable life. The misery in her face.
Oui. She looks as if she might be an American. She...
What do? She moved her lips.
Oui. Old woman, what is it? What are you saying? What?
Would you like a beautiful necklace?
Necklace?
A beautiful necklace out of bone. Real human bone.
Lights Out, written especially for radio by Arch Obler, comes to you each Wednesday from our Chicago studios. This program has been heard in Canada over the facilities of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Unsolved Mysteries. Out of deference to persons who may still be living, character names in some of these true unsolved mysteries have been changed. The passing of years has left a glow of romance about the days of the Spanish Main, but most pirates were little more than murdering wretches with a flair for the colorful. Blackbeard the pirate was an exception in one way. He left behind him an unsolved mystery when he buried a treasure chest at Plum Point in 1716. The scene is a well-known publisher's home in New England. A group of the publisher's friends have just returned from the golf course, and laughing over a remark made by one of the party, they seat themselves on the veranda and await the refreshments they know will be served.
Right in line with what you were saying, I saw in the papers the other day that the ghosts of Plum Point had been seen again.
Why will papers use up space publishing such nonsense?
Well, ghosts make news, and quite a number of people have seen that particular ghost. And certainly if anyone had a right to come back and haunt Plum Point, Prudence Luttrell assuredly had.
You mean that you know about this ghost?
I not only know about the ghost, but I know the whole story. And I can assure you that no writer of lurid and bloodthirsty fiction ever devised anything more bloody than the story of Blackbeard the pirate.
Good. After losing that game on the 18th hole, I'm in the mood for a pirate story.
It seems that Blackbeard was born in England, and that even in his early days he was headed toward the gallows. One of his names was Teach. At least that was the name he used when he got married. And if such abductions can be called marriage, Teach or Blackbeard was married some 18 times. And it was one of his wives, Prudence Luttrell, who provides us with a mystery which for over 200 years has been unsolved. Our story opens at a time when Blackbeard was thoroughly established as a successful pirate. His name was hated and feared from the Isles of Shoals to Trinidad. In spite of his piracy, he was practically immune from capture because he had as his ally and friend Governor Eden of North Carolina. And one afternoon in Governor Eden's house, he and his men divide their plunder.
Hold hard there, my hearties. This is the governor's. Here you are, Governor. Worth half a sack of Spanish gold any time. And this long tom was for you. You think that'll make up for the arm you lost?
Aye, Blackbeard, and that it will. I can buy myself a tidy little place and live the life of an honest man.
An honest man? Now, my hearties. Now that's all divided. Anybody not satisfied? No? Then everything's all right. Get back to the Revenge and be ready to sail with the tide. Red O'Neill, close that door and come here.
Aye, sir.
Long Tom would be wasted as an honest man, Red.
Aye.
And with one hand, he's not much of a pirate.
Not much.
That's a lot of treasure to be wasted on a useless man, Red.
Aye, that it is.
Take care of it, Red.
That I will, sir.
Now, Governor, what about your little job? You found me a wife?
I think so.
You think so, and me sailing with the tide? You'd better make sure good and fast, sir.
What's that?
That? That's Red O'Neill getting rid of a one-handed pirate who wanted to be an honest man. That's what happens to men no longer useful to me. Well, will my future wife be waiting for me tonight, ready to sail?
Yes. I'll see that everything is ready.
Oh, yes. What's her name?
Prudence Luttrell.
Prudence. Prudence. There's a name for a pirate's wife. Prudence. How old is she?
16.
I'll see that everything's ready then by dusk. And remember what happens to them that are no longer useful to me.
Stay tuned. More of our story is coming up after this short break.
And now let's return to our unsolved mystery on When Radio Was.
Dusk. And in a little cottage hard by the waterfront, Prudence Luttrell, pretty, dark-eyed, sits on a stool before the fire while her mother makes preparations for the wedding.
But I'm afraid of him, Mother. I've heard much of his piracies and his many wives who've all disappeared. And why should I have anything to do with him?
Oh, you're young and full of notions. You're afraid of a husband, and that's the measure of your worry. This day next year, you'll laugh at yourself for your fears. The captain's a fine man. Think, will ye? Would he be a friend of the governor's if he were a pirate?
I know what I've heard, Mother. They do say that Governor Eden and his secretary Knight share the loot Captain Teach brings in from the
The door bursts open. In stalks the governor, followed by Blackbeard and his crew of cutthroats. Prudence runs for the door. Blackbeard's arm shoots out, and the terrified girl is swept back into the center of the room. In rapid, horse-drunken speech, the governor reads the wedding ceremony, himself reading the responses that the shocked and trembling girl could not utter if she would.
Enough of this. The tide won't wait for wedding vows. Right. Aye, sir. Up to the men, and I'll take care of the wench. To the boat, my hearters, and so to sea.
Up the anchor. And on the deck man's chest. Drink in the heavenly careful drink. Been a year since we touched this part of the coast. Not since the captain got married. Aye, Blackbeard's kept this one longer than most. I don't like hugging this coast so close as this. We could rip the bottom out of the ship and found her before we knew it. There's a Red.
Quartermaster.
Aye, Captain.
We're going ashore.
What's that?
We're taking a little treasure chest ashore. Something just for us. Something we're not going to divide with the others. Now, place the chest in the longboat, cover it up, and we'll drop anchor and row ashore.
Where's the chest?
On the top of my cabin table.
In a few moments, the chest is in the longboat. Tackles creak and ropes sing as the longboat is lowered into the swell. The incoming tide brings the longboat high on the beach. And on Plum Point, Blackbeard shows his men where he wants the treasure buried. Dawn finds them finished.
That'll do, my hearties.
This chest will never be found. Who'd think of looking here? Good job, I'd say.
Right. Now back to the boat. Lead on, Red.
Guess we won't need the lantern now.
No, you won't need the lantern now.
Easy there, Captain. That's no way to do things.
And Blackbeard, the only witnesses to his treasure trove shot down in cold blood, walks back to the boat alone. Before Blackbeard could return to Plum Point to claim his treasure, his days of piracy came to an end, and he was cut down on the deck of his own ship. But perhaps Blackbeard had no intention of returning for that particular treasure chest. Why? In just a moment you will hear a solution as to what it contained when it was discovered 200 years later. Ladies and gentlemen, inasmuch as any solution must of necessity be supposition, liberties of time, place, and character have been taken in the solution for which you've been waiting. Once again, we're on the veranda of the New England publisher's home.
Well, that certainly was a swashbuckling story. Not only a story, the whole thing is true.
How do you know?
Well, there's no doubt about Blackbeard's activities. I've checked on them in works by Driscoll, Stockton, Howard Pyle. Oh, he lived all right.
And what about his wife, Prudence?
Well, the last scene I heard of her was one day when Blackbeard came out of his cabin with a knife gash running from his shoulder to the middle of his chest. She did that.
Well, and what about the treasure? Was that true?
Yes. For years, people along the coast and from quite a distance, too, came searching for that treasure. But for 200 years, no one found a trace of it.
You said for 200 years?
Yes. It was Christmas Day, 1928. Still dark in the early morning, when two trappers, on their way to examine some traps they had set, discovered an open hole, a brick-and-mortar-lined hole which bore the unmistakable signs of having had a treasure chest removed from it. The mortar still showed the marks of the hasps, the iron bands of the chest. Blackbeard's treasure had been found.
But if that was in 1928, why didn't we hear something about it?
I can tell you. I can see these men, the men who were searching for that treasure. I can see them there in the dim light of a flickering lantern, digging, digging, digging.
You hit something?
I know it sounded like metal.
I think that I can get it out now. You take the other end.
All right.
Let's heave. Now let me get my hand here. There, up. A little higher. All right.
Slide it onto the plank.
There, will we try to open it here?
Sure. Knock the lock off with a spade.
All right.
Now then, come on, open her up.
But instead of gold glinting in Blackbeard's treasure chest, the horror-stricken men find themselves gazing on a skeleton. The 200-year-old skeleton of Prudence Luttrell, Blackbeard's girl wife.
The Whistler. And now the Whistler's strange story. Bright Future.
Surveying his own reflection in the glass door entrance to the apartment house, Harry Simpson was pleased with what he saw. He flicked an imaginary speck from his lapel, straightened his bow tie, tugged lightly at the snap brim of his hat. Then, slapping the folded newspaper against his leg, he entered the building. Yes, Harry Simpson had a feeling that things were beginning to break his way at last. A feeling fortified by the $137 won at last night's poker game. Nothing could stop Harry Simpson today, not even the nationwide problem of a housing shortage.
You the manager, fella?
That's what it says over the buzzer you've been leaning on.
I understand you have an apartment for rent.
Why, yeah.
Furnished?
Would that make such a difference?
No. This make any difference? Oh, Ben Franklin looks pretty good in green, doesn't he?
Bonus.
Half of it. The other 50 goes on the first month's rent.
You're not OPA.
Never heard of it.
Well, I guess you got yourself an apartment, mister. One thing, though. Still a couple of boxes of stuff in the place. Belonged to the last tenant. Supposed to send him to his wife in Kansas City. On something else, I think you ought to know the only reason we got a vacant apartment
is that the last tenant, Frank Calder, was killed in a chemical fire last night. I know. That's how I got the address. I looked it up in the obituary. It's a death notice.
Kind of slick, mister.
Yeah, you got to use your head if you want to find a place to live these days, fella. Yes, sir. You got to use the noodle.
A few minutes later, you're alone, Harry, in your new apartment. And you congratulate yourself as you stroll from room to room. Yes, things are looking up for Harry Simpson, aren't they? The future looks bright and deep. And then a framed picture catches your eye. An enlarged photograph in color of a man and a woman. You hardly notice the man. It's the girl in the bright yellow bathing suit who attracts your attention. Tall, slender, a mass of flaming red hair falling down over tanned shoulders. Wow. Then you notice something else. Along one edge of the picture frame, a thin line of green. Puzzled, you run a nail file down the side. And a moment later, a bill flutters to the floor. A scrap of currency, Harry. But it's the amount that causes your jaw to drop. It's a $1,000 bill. You hold the picture up again, shake it. and another bill falls to the floor. Another, and another, until a neat little pile of currency forms in the center of the room. A pile amounting to $35,000.
Hello?
Hello, this is Boyle speaking, Mr. Coulter. Boyle Investigations.
Who?
Joe Boyle. Look, you called me a couple of weeks ago. You asked me to check on a guy named Jameson, upstate in Denton, remember?
Oh, Jameson. Yeah.
Say, this is Mr. Coulter, isn't it?
Coulter. Oh, Frank is not here right now.
Oh, not there, huh? Well, it's too bad. I ran across something I thought might interest him. It's about Jameson.
Look, I'm a good friend of Frank's. Could you give me the message?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, you see, I came down from Denton this morning. I was going to do the town for a few days. You know, bright lights, dancing girls. It does a fella good to get away once in a while.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm walking down the street when I spot this guy Jameson right here in town. You tell Cola that, huh? And tell him I'll keep my eye on Jameson, just in case.
All right. I'll tell him.
And look, in case Mr. Cola wants to reach me, I better give you my address. I'm at the Prentice Hotel, pal. It's in the book. Say, what did you say your name was?
I didn't, Joe. Goodbye.
It's all a little puzzling, isn't it, Harry? As you replace the receiver, you turn and stare at the bills on the floor. And you wonder if the phone call had anything to do with the $35,000 you found hidden in the picture frame. You wonder, too, about this man, Jameson, and why Coulter was having him watched. Quickly you cross the room, scoop up the bills. You can run for it now, or you can sit tight and wait. Yes, wait. That's it, isn't it, Harry? Perhaps there's more where this came from. You slip the bills into your wallet, seal the picture again, and place it on the mantel. As you step back to admire the girl in the bathing suit.
Who is it? Yes, what can I... Well, hello. How lucky can a guy get?
Mr. Simpson?
That's right, honey.
I hate to intrude like this. I'm Rosanna Robbins. I was Frank's... That is we.
Oh, sure. I remember you.
What?
The photograph. You're the girl in the photograph. I never forget a face. Run in.
The manager didn't think you'd mind. I just came by to pick up some things that were left.
Oh, some things, huh? Oh, sure. Oh, no, honey.
I'm sorry, Mr. Simpson. I didn't mean to. Well, it's just that coming back here to Frank's apartment, the memories and all.
Oh, sure, I understand.
Frank and I were very much in love. It just doesn't seem possible that he's gone. Now all I have left is the memory of our love and that.
Oh, that picture on the mantel, huh?
Yes. It's the only one I have of him. I had to come back for it. I wouldn't want her to see it.
Her?
Frank's wife. They've been separated for years. I wouldn't want her to know about us. I think it's best this way now that he's gone.
Yes, sure.
Well, she wouldn't understand.
No, she wouldn't. May I look at that picture again? I'm afraid I didn't get a very close look at him the last time.
Well, it was taken on the beach last summer.
Yeah. Looks like a grade A guy.
Oh, he was, Mr. Simpson, he was. I miss him so very much. I just don't know what I'll do now.
Well, nothing rash, I hope.
Well, perhaps Oh, here I am boring you, Mr. Simpson. I think I'd better go.
Well, what's the hurry?
I do hope you'll forgive me for intruding.
Any time, honey. I want that picture wrapped.
No, I'll take it just like this. Oh, and Mr. Simpson.
Yeah.
Before I go, would you mind terribly if I walk through the apartment just once for the last time?
You watch her as she strolls around the apartment, stopping now and then to dab the corner of her eye with a handkerchief. And then she's gone. An interesting performance, wasn't it, Harry? And you wonder just how much of a threat she's going to be. But you're not worried, are you? No, because you've already planned your next move. Half an hour later, you register at a large downtown hotel. Hand an envelope containing the money to the desk clerk. Ask him to keep it in the office safe. Then you saunter back out into the street. Take a taxi up to the Strip to celebrate your good fortune and a bright future. It's almost 4 a.m. when you decide to return. You can pick up the money at the hotel tomorrow. You climb the stairs to your apartment, and then as you reach the first floor, you stop, leap back into an alcove as a man comes out of your apartment and hurries down the hall toward the back stairs. You get only a glimpse of his face as he hurries past you, but it's enough.
Calder. That guy was Frank Calder. Alive.
It happened fast, didn't it, Harry? One swift, sudden moment of recognition, and you discover a startling truth. That Frank Calder, the man whose obituary in the newspaper led you to finding an apartment, is actually alive. You're a little stunned with a sudden turn of events, aren't you? And you struggle to fit the pieces of the puzzle together. $35,000 in a picture frame, hidden in the apartment of a man who has come back from the grave. Why did he hire an out-of-town private detective to check on the movements of a man named Jameson? Then there's Rosanna Robbins, Coulter's girlfriend. She fits in here somewhere, doesn't she? But as far as she's concerned, you find out where you stand the following evening as you're about to go out.
Yes, what the... Oh.
Here I am again, Mr. Simpson.
So I see.
Oh, I hope you're not annoyed. There was something I wanted of Frank's beside the picture. A cigarette lighter. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Oh, well, it might have dropped on the floor behind a chair or something. May I come in?
Well, sure. Help yourself, honey. Place is yours.
Thank you. Why are you looking at me like that, Mr. Simpson?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that my gleam was showing.
Mr. Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think I'm going to find it, do you? The lighter, I mean. I'll bet you think I just made it all up just to have an excuse to come back.
Well, honey, I don't know.
I think you do. Oh, it's all right, Mr. Simpson. Harry. You see, I'm a terrible person. Really simply awful. I didn't love Frank.
Well, I sort of noticed that you agreed. It didn't last very long.
No, it didn't. Actually, Frank Calder meant very little to me. I suppose I loved only the idea of all that money. You wouldn't know about that, would you, Harry?
No, I wouldn't, honey.
Oh. You know, I think we should talk things over.
Oh, we are talking.
We're not really. Well, relax. Not sure of one another. We could be, Harry. Aren't you going to offer me a drink or something?
What about the drink? Sorry, I just moved in. I hadn't a feeling.
Oh, good. Well, why don't we go over to my place then? It's quiet and cozy. I have everything you'll need.
Well, how can I refuse?
Suppose I run here. Meet you there in an hour.
Half an hour.
All right. I'll jot down the address for you, Harry, so you'll be sure to get there. So there'll be no mistake.
A few minutes after she's gone, you hurry down the corridor. As you reach the head of the stairs, you hear someone dialing the telephone down in the lobby. Slowly, you ease down the stairs. And then you hear Rosanna's voice.
Hello? This is Miss Robbins. I'd like to speak with Mr. Jameson. Don Jameson. What? Oh, yes, I'm certain he's registered there. Yes? Oh, I see. No, I'll try again later.
You're certain you can't be mistaken. You heard the name clearly enough, didn't you, Harry? Jameson. Coulter's ex-girlfriend phoned Don Jameson. The man Coulter was having watched by Detective Boyle. A few minutes later, after you hear the front door slam, you hurry to the phone book, find the address of the hotel where Boyle is staying. Half an hour later, you're facing him across his cramped hotel room.
You see, Frank had to go out of town, Mr. Boyle. Joe.
Huh?
But he's still interested in this fellow Jameson.
I had a hunch he would be. Yes, sir, always follow my hunches. A fellow of my line has to keep on his toes, you know.
Oh, sure. Frank told me he did a nice job for him. A very sweet job.
Well, all part of the racket, you know. Nothing to it, really, from my experience. Nothing to it.
This guy, Jameson, you've been tailing.
Yeah.
You know, Frank was wondering about a girl.
Tall? Redhead?
Yeah. Name's Rosanna Robbins.
Oh, yeah. That doll would make a woman hater tear up his union card.
Oh, yeah. Has she been up there to see Jameson?
Oh, lots of times.
What is this Jameson like?
A pretty ordinary citizen, good reputation, fairly well known around. He's even buying a house.
Oh, you think he intends to marry the Robbins girl?
Well, I'd say they had a very genuine interest in each other. You know what I mean, pal?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
See, tell me something, will you? This Coulter, he got sort of a yen for this dish, too, huh? That why he was tailing Jameson?
Oh, yeah. It's sort of a jealousy thing.
Oh, I had a hunch that was it. Every time. I remember a case I had last summer. A fellow named Jeff Bellamy. Oh, yeah. He's the local druggist up at Denton. Well, he got mixed up with a lady sax player from Chicago.
I'm awfully sorry to break this up, fella.
Oh, you have to go.
Oh, yeah.
Well, look, I'm meeting a little doll downstairs in just a little while, you see. I thought, well, she might have a friend to me.
Oh, no, thanks. No, I got something on tap.
Yes, you have a date of your own, haven't you, Harry? A very important date with Rosanna at her apartment. As you had expected, it turns out to be quite an enjoyable evening. And strangely enough, not once does the $35,000 enter the conversation. Coulter seems to be forgotten, and you're beginning to think she's forgotten about Jameson, too.
We're out of soda, Harry.
Water'll do. You know, baby, I've been thinking. I'm sort of turning things over in my mind.
Harry, you sound too serious. Here's a drink.
Thanks. No, it's nothing serious. Just a crazy notion I ran into.
Oh? I like this drink. But try it.
Let me get this out first. Like I said, it's just a notion. There's a man and a woman.
Well, now that is a good notion. Move over, will you?
There's a romantic interest between these two, but they're not quite happy. You see, the guy doesn't like his work. It's sort of dull. Maybe like he's an auditor in a chemical plant.
How very, very dull.
Yeah, and it doesn't pay off very well.
Drink your drink, Harry.
Yeah, so he gets an idea. He does a little embezzling, gets together a nice hunk of cash, he hides it, and knocks himself off.
You fascinate me, Harry. Go on.
Well, it's an accident, you see. Fire, maybe. There isn't a trace of the guy left. To the world, he's dead.
Isn't he?
No. He's as alive as either of us. Now, he's free of his wife, and he...
Oh, he's been married all along?
Yeah. But they've been separated for years. Let's say the wife is out west, won't give him a divorce. Now he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. He can marry the girl, take the dough, and skip.
And they live happily ever after. Drink your drink, Harry.
Oh, the story isn't over. The guy misplaces the dough.
Poor girl.
I don't know. Maybe she didn't care much for the guy anyway. Maybe she was running around with another fella. Upstate somewhere.
Oh, really? Well, maybe this man had more to offer.
Maybe. Only the way I look at the picture...
And you do like to look at pictures, huh?
Hey, you know something, baby? I figure that this doll would throw both of these boys over for someone else.
Oh. Who does she like now?
Now or any time, she likes whoever has the most to offer. Her dream boy is the gent with the folding stuff.
You know, Harry, I think you're right. But with so much happening to our girl, how can she be sure she's getting the right man?
That's for her to figure out. But she's smart enough. After she has time to think it over, it'll come to her. Good night, baby. I got a shove.
So soon, Harry, wife. Harry.
Yeah, that's only a sample. Now, give me a call when you make up your mind. You know the number.
All right, Harry.
Oh, Rosanna,
Yeah?
that last drink of mine. You better pour it down the sink. You might take it by mistake. I wouldn't want that to happen.
You've figured it all out, haven't you, Harry? The picture that was once vague in your mind has now been brought into focus. The pieces of the puzzle are falling into place, and the waiting game is over. It's time for action now, and you're not worried about Rosanna anymore. You're sure you know what the next move is going to be, and later that night in your apartment you're ready for it, as the door buzzer rings and you open the door.
Hello, Frank. That is the name, isn't it? Frank Calder?
Mind if I come in, friend?
No. Come ahead. I've been expecting you.
Yeah? Look, Simpson, I don't know what you're trying to pull, but it breaks down right here, understand?
Oh, you came for the dough, huh? Rosanna is wonderful, isn't she? I figured.
We can skip Rosanna.
No, Calder. One of us will be a big man when we get through talking, but not quite big enough to skip Rosanna. She goes along with the deal. Winner take all. She doesn't really care who wins, either.
Have it all figured out, huh?
Including the fact that you probably brought a gun along. Don't try that, pal. I'm not just keeping my hand warm.
Looks like you've got them there. So what happens now?
Well, you don't know? For a guy with a big fat imagination, you disappoint me, Calder. So I'll tell you what happens. You left yourself wide open, pal, the way you destroyed yourself in that fire.
What do you mean?
You're dead, Calder. You haven't any identity at all. Who's going to miss you?
Hey, now, wait a minute.
Makes it all very easy for me and Rosanna. I'm going to kill you, Frankie. I'm going to take you out of town somewhere and shoot you and get rid of the body. And I repeat, who's going to miss you?
Now, look, Simpson. Can't we make a deal?
A deal? What do I look like, the leader of the bowl haircut crowd? I'm sorry, I'll take baby and the 35 grand. Come on, Cola, let's go.
It doesn't take long, does it, Harry? You watch Coulter's body sink slowly in the mire of a swamp at the outskirts of town. You drop the gun you used in after him. Hurry back to your car for the drive to your apartment. A few hours later, going up the stairs, the whole thing runs through your mind again. Finding the apartment through the obituaries, the money, Rosanna, her devotion to men with money. She'll be yours now, won't she, Harry? Because you have the money and you're in the clear. Coulter is gone, a victim of his own plans, and no one will be searching for a dead man. You're smiling as you open the door and let yourself in.
Hello, Harry.
How are you, baby?
I've been waiting for one of you to come back. I'm glad it's you, Harry.
Yeah. You'd have probably said the same thing to Coulter if he'd have come back. Well, he isn't coming back.
Oh, poor Frank.
Look, baby, we're going to have to take off. This town isn't for us anymore.
So?
So, most important, what about Jameson?
Jameson? You expecting someone?
Relax, baby. I'll take care of it.
Hiya, pal.
Boyle.
That's right. Joe Boyle, Boyle Investigations. This is Lieutenant Hanson.
We come in, Simpson?
The police? I don't understand.
A lot of things we don't understand. Like why you let Boyle here believe that Frank Coulter was alive.
Yeah, I just found out different. And another thing, about this guy I've been following.
Jameson? What about him?
Well, since you asked me to stay with it, I never let him out of my sight for a minute. Not for a minute.
So what?
Look, Lieutenant, you're not mixing me up in that part of it.
Take it easy, Rosanna.
Look who's giving advice. Don't you know what they're trying to tell you, sap? Frank Coulter had to be somebody after he died in that fire. He's been living a double life for over a year. That's why he hired Boyle here, to see if his new identity would stick.
And it has.
Look, lady, I don't get that double talk about a double life. All I know is I saw Simpson shoot this guy a couple of hours ago.
What guy?
This guy. I've been carrying his picture around ever since I started tailing him.
But that's a picture of Frank Calder. How could I shoot Calder? He died 4 days ago.
Who's talking about Calder? I'm talking about this guy in the picture, Don Jameson.
Don Jameson?
Like you asked me, pal. I've been following Jameson for you, that's all. That's how I happened to see you shoot him and toss him into the swamp.
But that's Frank Calder's picture.
Doesn't make any difference what he called himself, Calder or Jameson. They're the same guy. You killed him, so come on, let's go.
The Whistler has been a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
Good evening. This is P034. Would it bore you to hear a tale of tragic murder? Are you unwilling to sit through the telling of a strange and horrible story? The brief narrative of a man caught in a web of evil? You're not? Then, my friends, keep right on listening to the Mystery Playhouse. Humor, I've heard it said many times, is of real benefit to him who possesses one. The sense has come to be so generally admired that it has attained the stature of a first-class virtue. Well, the fellow whom you're about to meet, while hardly falling into the virtuous category, he does have a sense of humor. Things like murder or hate and madness, or someone telling him his mother just died, practically rose him in the aisles. He loves a good, ghoulish joke. Oh, and he loves to tell them, too. He's about to start one now. So follow me, please, to the inner sanctum and your host, Raymond.
Good evening, friends of the inner sanctum. Now, come in, won't you? This is your host, Raymond, again, disturbing the peace. Say, have you ever had the screaming meanies? Did you ever get an attack of the yelling and wailing jitters? Do you walk in your sleep? Do you ever wake in the middle of the night shrieking at the top of your lungs? Oh, you do? Well, you must be a hard person to live with. friends, it's time for our story to begin. From this point on, forget everything pleasant. Set a finger ready to chew on. Turn the lights down low. And listen to Peter Lorre tell you the blood-curdling tale, Death is a Joker. Come with me to the criminal courts building. A tense hush falls upon the spectators as Charles Luther takes the stand.
Gentlemen of the jury, I'm accused of murder. I'm an actor, a comedian. Look at my face. Ugly, huh? Yes, so ugly that whoever looks at it laughs. I'm not telling you in sympathy for myself. I tell you this because it is important to your understanding the strange events that brought me to this courtroom today to plead for my life. Shortly before midnight of November 28th, I went to the apartment of my friend Robert Langwell, the famous actor and matinee artist.
Charles, well, this is a surprise. Come in.
Thank you.
Would you like a drink?
No, don't bother. I don't want anything.
No? Well, then, here, may I take your thing? Oh, excuse me. Hello. Oh, George. Yes, I have the money for you. You'll be up? 20 minutes? Yes. Goodbye. George Gelvin. You know him, Charles?
Yes.
Rotten actor. An excellent poker player.
So I've heard. Robert, before leaving the theater tonight, someone told me that you and Julie Winthrop are going to be married. Is it true?
Yes, we'll be married against a decree in Reno.
You must not marry Julie.
Not marry Julie? Well, who I can do?
I know Julie well, and I also know you. That's why you must not marry her.
Charles, it might be better for you to mind your own business. Julie and I are in love with each other.
No, you're not. She's fascinated by your good looks. She's impressed by your fame, but she does not love you.
Now, look here. We may be old friends, but I've stood all I'm going to. Wait a moment. I get it now. You're in love with her yourself.
I'm in love with Julie. No, we are just friends.
Friends? You're madly in love with her. That's why you came here tonight, isn't it?
No.
Friends.
Stop your laughing.
You in love with a girl like Julie.
Why should my love make you laugh?
Admit it, huh?
All right, I do. Why is it so funny?
Do you think she'd have you? You, a clown, ugly, clumsy? You in love with Julie?
And why not? Why not?
You!
Stop your laughing. Stop it.
Can I? Look at yourself. Charles, let go of me.
No.
You're choking. Let go.
A joke, huh?
Charles.
A joke. Laugh. Oh, laugh now. Laugh. Robert. I didn't mean it. Robert. Lord, what have I done? I rushed out of his apartment, trembling. I turned my coat collar up to hide my face. The streets were crowded with people coming from the late movies and restaurants. I tried to make myself act naturally, but it was impossible. Everyone I saw, every pair of eyes that looked at me, seemed to accuse me of my crime.
Papers.
Waited for the light to change.
Paper, mister. Morning paper. Read about the Reynolds execution.
Here, let me have one.
There you are.
I didn't know Reynolds was to be executed tonight.
Yeah, they burned him. Well, he deserved it. Murdering his friend like he did. Oh, wait a minute, mister. You forgot your change.
Oh, never mind. I went to my apartment and the newspaper I had bought. There was a photograph of Reynolds on the first page. In his face, I saw my future. The shattered hopes, the torture of the trial, The horrible, nerve-wracking experience of waiting for death. I flung the paper away. I went to the window. I opened it. I looked down 17 stories to the ground. How tiny people look. The automobile lights moved like so many fireflies. I climbed out on the edge. I braced my arms. I took a deep breath. One last look. I closed my eyes and... Doorbell rang. I hesitated a moment. I decided to answer it. I closed the window, went to the door.
Hello, Charles.
Julie.
Why did you rush away from the theater tonight? I was anxious to talk to you.
Talk to me about what?
I need your advice, Charles.
What's wrong?
Well, it's Robert.
What happened?
Well, nothing happened. It's just that I'm not sure I love him.
I'm not sure.
Yes, when I'm with him, everything seems all right. Handsome and charming, but when I'm alone, I begin to wonder and to doubt.
Why?
Can't you guess why?
Yes. You love someone else?
Yes.
Oh, who is it?
You.
Me?
Yes, that's what I came here to tell you. That's why I don't want to marry him.
Me?
Yes, I would have told you before, but I was so afraid of making a fool of myself. You didn't seem to care.
I didn't care. Julie, this is crazy. I loved you from the moment I saw you.
You loved me?
Yes.
But, darling, why didn't you tell me?
Tell you? How could I? You're so young, so beautiful. And I, look at me. Ugly, clumsy. How could I speak to you?
Fools we both were. How you look means nothing to me.
Nothing?
Of course not, darling. How lucky we are we found out in time.
In time? In time? Oh, merciful heavens. What a joke. What a joke.
Charles, what's wrong?
What a
tears
joke.
streaming down your face. Charles, you're hysterical. Now stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Julie, something you must know.
Yes,
I
darling.
committed a murder.
Murder? What are you talking about?
I killed Robert.
Killed Robert? Oh, out of your mind. You don't know what you're saying.
But it was true. I went to his apartment and we quarreled and I killed him.
Oh, no.
You told me a moment ago that you loved me. Do you still love me?
Yes, Charles.
Then tell me what to do, Julie. Help me. I can't think. I don't know where to turn, but what can I do, Julie? What can I do?
Pull yourself together, Charles. This may not be as hopeless as you think.
Why?
Was Robert alone in the apartment when you called?
Yes.
Were you seen entering or leaving?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes, his apartment is on the second floor. I walked up and down.
What time did you get there?
Shortly before midnight.
And what did you do before that?
Went to a movie.
Movie? How long did you stay there?
Oh, only about 20 minutes.
Do you have the ticket stub?
Huh? Yes, here it is.
Charles, do you realize what this means? They may never find out about you.
Never find out?
That's right. They won't suspect you since they can't know your motive. No one saw you enter or leave, and you have an excellent alibi.
Okay. Alibi, Julie. Do you realize what they're doing? They're talking of this as if we planned this crime, as though we were criminals. But I committed a crime, yes, but I'm no criminal. I didn't mean to do it.
I know, darling, I know. You must think of your own life now.
Oh,
and mine.
Yes, Julia. Oh, I see what you mean. I'm not a criminal, but I must play the role of a criminal now. A subtle, clever criminal who is cunning enough to escape punishment. Can I do it? Can I do it, Julie?
Charles, listen to me. We must find out how much the police know. If it's hopeless and they have found out about you, then it would be best to give yourself up. But let's not make any decisions until we know.
How can we know?
Did Robert expect anyone tonight?
Yes, George Galvin phoned when I was there. He said he'd be up in about...
And the body must have been discovered by now.
Yes, I'm sure the police must be there by this time.
I think that I'll go to Robert's apartment.
No, Julie, no. I don't want you to become involved.
I'm already involved. If it weren't for me, this horrible thing would never have happened. The least I can do is to help you now.
But, Julie...
Promise me you'll not leave this apartment, Charles.
All right.
I won't be long.
Julie.
Yes.
If something happens, if something goes wrong and is separated before you return, I want you to know that I don't know what to say, Julie.
You don't have to say it, darling. I know what you mean. Goodbye.
Goodbye. A criminal. I have to think like one, to act like one, have to be one. What question would they ask?
Where were you at 12 o'clock midnight of November 28th?
I was in a movie, and here's the stub. Oh, no. They can see immediately that I'm lying. My voice shouldn't be so quick with the answer.
Where were you at 12 midnight of November 28th?
Where was I? Let me see. Well, I left the theater and I went to a movie. It was a very amusing picture. Very amusing.
Can you prove what you say?
Prove? Oh, I don't know. It'd be difficult. Well, I may have the ticket stuff somewhere. Yes, here. Let me show it to you. Here it is.
Did you ever quarrel with Robert Langwell?
Quarrel with... We were friends. We played in many shows together. We were on the best of terms.
That's all, Mr. Luther. You may leave now.
Yes, I can, Pete. It is possible. I can escape punishment. Police? Can it be the police? Maybe it is Julie.
Good evening, Charles.
George Gallup.
I know it's rather late for an unexpected visit.
Yes, it is.
But this is important, Charles. A matter of life and death, you might say.
What do you mean?
Have you a cigarette?
Huh? Yes, here.
Thanks. What's the matter, Charles? Your hand's trembling.
It's nothing.
You don't seem to be your usual self this evening. No quips, no jokes. What's wrong?
I don't always feel like joking.
Yes, Charles. It's strange about human nature, isn't it? Who would have ever dreamed that tonight, a few minutes before midnight, you went at Robert Langwell's apartment, quarreled with him over Julie, and choked him to death?
What are you talking about?
You're an excellent actor, Charles. But your whiskey, save them for the footlights. Or the police.
Police? Will you please tell me what all this is about?
Still acting, huh? Now, look, Charles. You killed Robert shortly before midnight tonight.
You are mistaken. I was in a movie at that time.
Oh, so that's your alibi. Very clever. Now, Charles, either we discuss terms now, or I go to the police.
Wait. How did you find out?
That is my secret.
What do you want?
Money. All you have on hand. All you can dig up.
All right. Come with me. I have some money in the bedroom.
All right. Just a moment.
What is business?
Yes.
Why?
I'm taking no chances. Let's go.
All right.
Well, where's the money? Charles, stand back or I'll fire. Stand back.
No. Let go of my hand. No. I'll twist it. I'll twist it till the gun points to your head. There. Charles, let go. You don't know what you're doing. Go on. Fire now. The bullet will enter your brain. Fire. Charles. Fire. Charles, don't. I'll make you fire.
Charles, please, your fingers.
Charles, let go. This is all a joke.
I'll make you.
Stop it, Charles.
Just a second. Just a second.
Charles. Darling, there's nothing more to worry about. Everything's all right now. We can be married and go on living and never fear anything.
What makes you say that?
Darling, you didn't commit a crime at all. Alive.
Alive?
Yes, he's downstairs now paying the taxi.
Robert? He's alive?
Yes. I spoke to him about the marriage, and he was wonderful about the whole thing. Darling, aren't you happy? Our worries are all over. You can smile and be gay. That must be Robert now.
Hello, Charles.
Robert. I thought you...
I'm not.
But how did you
see? I fainted. George Gelvin came in and brought me to.
George Gelvin. Did you tell George Gelvin what happened?
Yes, I did. Look here, Charles. As I told Julie, I'm willing to forget the whole thing if you are.
Forget? Forget?
Yes. It might have ended tragically, you know, but thinking it over, I realize I'm as much to blame as you are. So if you're willing to shake hands.
Shake hands?
There now, darling. There's nothing more to worry about. I feel so happy I could... Charles, what's the matter with you?
It's nothing.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
Gentlemen of the jury, I became a criminal all because I thought I had committed a crime and I had to think like a criminal. My motives were those of all men. I wanted happiness and wanted marriage to the woman I loved. What would you have done in my place? And I still think I know that guy. I wish I could place him. Well, it must be wonderful to have a sense of humor, but I don't think Charlie feels much like laughing. Do you? We'll pay to the inner sanctum and its fun-loving host Raymond soon, but don't go, please. Not until we drop in at the green room, where the players are rehearsing our next performance in a mystery playhouse. Come with me, please. Come.
Change the dressings at midnight and again in the morning, nurse.
Yes, Doctor.
Well, Doctor, what did you find? Will I be blind? Is it very bad?
Now, take it easy, Mr. Denton. There's nothing to worry about. Nothing at all.
You sure? You aren't just saying that.
I'm quite sure.
Valerie, did you hear that? I'm not going to be blind. Valerie, where are you?
Right here, darling.
Did you hear? I won't be blind. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, darling, it's marvelous.
You don't sound very excited. Valerie, don't you realize I'm going to see again?
She doesn't sound excited because I don't want you to be excited, Mr. Denton. You've got to relax. Try to sleep.
Sleep. With this ungodly pain, my eyes are on fire.
That will stop as soon as the opiate I gave you takes hold. You'll be comfortable, I'm sure. Now, good night.
You're going now, Doctor?
Yes, I'll look in on your husband in the morning.
Stephen.
Yes, Valerie?
Do you mind if I step out into the corridor for a moment?
But you promised not to leave me. I'm afraid, Valerie. Everything's so dark.
The nurse will be here, dear, if you want anything.
I just want to ask Dr. Wade some questions.
Questions? But he's already told us to do
Yes, Stephen, I know. But I'd like to find out about the treatment and how I'm to take care of you when we get you home, you know. Just little things.
All right. But hurry back. I want you near me.
I will, dear.
Good night, Mr. Denton.
Good night, Doctor. And thank you.
You're quite welcome. After you, Mrs. Denton.
Thank you.
I suggest we step into the consultation room across the hall. We'll have more privacy.
All right.
Here we are.
Thank you.
Well, it's been a long time, Valerie.
Yes, Paul, it has.
Almost 10 years, isn't it?
About that.
Strange that you should have called me, of all people, to treat your husband's eyes.
Oh, I was panicky, Paul. I didn't know what to do. It all happened so suddenly. Stephen was working in his laboratory at the house when suddenly I heard a violent explosion. I ran in and found him clutching his eyes and screaming, "I'm blind." First thing I thought of was an ambulance. Then you...
Why didn't you think of me 10 years ago?
It's not fair, Paul.
Was it fair to turn your back on me and then to marry a man almost twice your age?
Paul, please, why bring up ancient history?
It isn't ancient history to me. I've never forgotten you.
About Stephen's eyes.
What about them?
I have a feeling that you weren't telling him the truth.
You're right.
Oh, you mean he's not going to regain his sight? He's going to be blind? Oh, Paul.
You don't expect me to be turned, do you, Valerie? After all, he did take you away from me.
Don't be vindictive, Paul. It wasn't Stephen's fault. He didn't even know of your existence.
And you never told him that we were on the point of being married?
No, never.
It's rather ironic that we should meet again at the bedside of my rival, your husband, a man who may forever walk in darkness.
Don't say that, Paul. It's horrible.
But unfortunately true. A moment ago, you told me not to be vindictive. I'm not, really. But if I were, I could have my fill of vengeance if I told him about us. And then told him that he'll be blind forever. Or I might take another form of revenge. I could tell you that an operation is called for. A very delicate operation.
Are you trying to say that there might be a chance?
Yes. But supposing I refuse to perform the operation?
Paul, you're joking. You can't mean that.
Perhaps not. But you call me vindictive. Suppose I operate and my scalpel slips. What if he dies?
That would be murder. You're not a murderer, Paul. You wouldn't risk your professional reputation. Why must you torment me this way?
You really love him, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Then forget the things that I've been saying. I want you to think of me, then. I want you to trust me.
I do trust you, Paul.
Thank you. Now as to the possibility of surgery. Here is the situation. The transparent film over your husband's eyes, the corneas, were burned and torn by the explosion. They've been so damaged that blindness will result, even though the eyes heal.
But you think an operation would cure that?
Possibly, although it's a very delicate job. The injured cornea must be peeled away and replaced by a fresh, healthy one.
Where can you get healthy corneas?
From the eyes of the dead. It isn't quite as horrible as it sounds, Valerie. You know, dying people often will their eyes for just this purpose. We maintain what we call a corneal bank. It's much the same as a blood bank, only but there's this difference. Corneal tissue can't be stored more than 48 hours. It must be fresh, or it's no good.
You have some available in the bank?
No, that's the trouble. I'm afraid we haven't.
But there's got to be some, Paul.
I don't know where, Valerie. Unless...
Unless what?
I was just thinking. Last night, one of the interns asked me to look at a charity case that puzzled him. The patient is a Hindu or a Persian named Chandra. He lives in a dirty little shack near the waterfront.
Yes, Paul.
I stopped by and examined him. I found him in incurable condition. There's no way to save him. He won't live more than a day or two. But his eyes are healthy.
You mean you think he might...
I don't know. You'd have to have his consent, of course.
Take me to him, Paul. I'm sure I can make him understand.
Oh, it may not be so easy, Valerie. He's a strange person. A mystic and a spiritualist.
Let me try. Just take me to him.
All right. We can go there now.
Doesn't the doctor sound familiar to you? Huh? That's right. It's Boris Karloff, up to his old tricks. I think it might amuse you to be on hand for our next performance, when we present Mr. Karloff and Creeps by Night. This is Peter Lorre closing the doors of the Mystery Playhouse. Good night, sweetheart.
Forces Radio Service.